48 million Americans over 65 hold a valid driver's license. What many dismissed as rumors is now real. New 2026 rules are making it harder than ever to keep driving. Renewal cycles have been cut from 12 years to 2. Online renewals are gone. A single report from your doctor or a family member can trigger suspension. No state revokes your license for age alone, but what is quietly replacing that is far more alarming. 48 million Americans over the age of 65 currently hold a driver's license. That's nearly 1 in 7 people in the country, and every single one now faces a new set of hurdles to stay on the road. Department of Transportation issued its advisory in late 2025, urging all states to tighten license renewal for older drivers. Within months, state legislatures and DMV offices began rolling out changes that go far beyond rumor. Renewal cycles that used to stretch as long as 12 years have been slashed to 2 or 3. Online renewals, once a lifeline for those with limited mobility, are being closed off for seniors in state after state. These aren't theoretical proposals or distant possibilities. Alaska, Arizona, California, Illinois, Texas, New York, Indiana, and others have already enacted laws or posted new DMV rules, all taking effect in 2026. For the first time, a routine renewal can now mean an in-person vision screening, a doctor's certification, or a road test. None of these rules revoke a license based on age alone. But the reality is that a single written report from a family member, doctor, or police officer can now trigger a formal review, sometimes resulting in immediate suspension. The scale is staggering, and the consequences are real. Millions of older drivers who once counted on automatic renewals now find themselves in a tightening web of new requirements, often with little warning. For many, the difference between independence and isolation now rests on a process they barely knew was changing. 12 years between renewals once felt like a guarantee. That era is over. In state after state, the calendar has collapsed. Alaska, which allowed seniors to renew every decade, now requires anyone over 70 to show up in person every 5 years. Arizona's 12-year cycle has vanished for good. Seniors 65 and up now face a 5-year window, with in-person vision checks at every renewal. Illinois, Ohio, and Indiana have each cut their intervals to 3 years or less for drivers over 70, and the oldest must return as often as every 12 months. Texas and Virginia have followed suit, shrinking renewal periods and mandating face-to-face appointments for anyone past the age threshold. Online renewal, once a relief for those with mobility issues, is rapidly disappearing. New York, Texas, and California have all posted 2026 notices. Seniors 70 and older must appear in person, no exceptions. Florida and Indiana have blocked online renewal for drivers 75 plus. DMV press releases confirm these changes are already in effect or will be within months. For seniors used to handling paperwork from home, the sudden need to schedule a DMV visit, often with little notice, feels like a ticking clock. The result is a race against shrinking deadlines. A renewal notice that once arrived every decade now demands action every 2 or 3 years. Miss a window and the license lapses. For millions, the countdown has already started. Mike, 78, spent his entire adult life behind the wheel. He drove to work, to church, to his grandkids' soccer games. On July 2, 2026, he walked into the DMV in Springfield, Illinois, expecting a routine renewal. Instead, the rules had changed. For the first time, every driver over 75 faced a mandatory road test. Mike failed. 3 points lost for a missed shoulder check, 2 for hesitating at a left turn. The examiner handed him a slip and told him he could try again in 6 months. In less than 48 hours, Mike's world shrank. His car sat idle in the driveway. Suddenly, he depended on his daughter for groceries and doctor visits. The loss wasn't about driving. It was about dignity, about asking for rides, about waiting on someone else's schedule. Mike's independence disappeared almost overnight, replaced by a quiet anxiety he never expected to feel at this stage of life. A single report can upend everything. In Illinois, Statute 625, ILCS 511408 empowers police to file a written concern, one form submitted electronically. And the DMV can suspend a license for 30 days before the driver even sets foot in a hearing. New Jersey takes it further. Doctors are required by law to file a report within 24 hours if they believe a patient's condition might affect driving. The MV106 form, once reserved for rare emergencies, now moves through a secure portal, triggering immediate review. In Texas, any family member can fill out the TXDF 2026 online. No lawyer needed, just a signature and a brief statement. The Department of Public Safety issues a provisional suspension while the case is reviewed. These pathways operate quietly, often without warning. A concerned daughter, a cautious physician, or a patrol officer at a traffic stop all have the power to set the review process in motion. For seniors, the risk isn't just from failing a test. It's from being reported, sometimes without a chance to prepare. Illinois stands out as the first major battleground. On July 1, 2026, House Bill 4529 takes effect, forcing every driver age 70 and up to renew their license in person. For those 75 and older, a road test is now non-negotiable, no matter how clean the record. The DMV's new rules cut the renewal window to 4 years for ages 70 to 74, 3 years for 75 to 79, and only 2 years for anyone 80 or older. Each visit demands a vision screening, and a single failed test can mean a 6-month wait before trying again. Online renewal is gone for this entire group, replaced by the requirement to show up, wait in line, and pass every hurdle face-to-face. New York's Department of Motor Vehicles is following suit, with Senate Bill S. 7140A also kicking in on July 1st. Here, the rules draw a sharp line at 75. Anyone 75 or older must appear in person every 2 years to renew, with no exceptions. Online renewal is off the table. Every appointment brings a mandatory vision test. For drivers 80 and above, a physician's certification is required, and any medical condition flagged by a doctor means an automatic road test, regardless of past performance. The DMV, once a distant agency, now stands as the gatekeeper for seniors' independence. For thousands, these changes are not just bureaucratic, they are a looming deadline, with the risk of losing a license hanging over every renewal. Arizona's new approach lands like a jolt for drivers who once counted on a long, easy renewal. The state's signature 12-year cycle for seniors is gone. Now anyone over 65 faces a 5-year maximum, and those 70 and up must show up in person for every renewal. The vision exam is no longer a quick check. Under SB 1494, every senior must pass a contrast sensitivity test, a screening designed to catch the sort of visual decline that standard eye charts miss. If a driver fails 2 vision tests back-to-back, the DMV can order a cognitive assessment before another renewal is allowed. For those 80 and older, the renewal window shrinks to just 1 year, with every visit carrying the risk of deeper scrutiny. Texas has turned its DMV offices into testing hubs. The new HB 3104 divides seniors into 3 brackets. 70 to 79 renew every 4 years, but must come in person and pass a vision test. For ages 80 to 86, the cycle drops to 2 years, and every renewal demands a doctor's note confirming medical fitness. At 87, the requirements tighten further. Annual renewal, a mandatory on-road driving test, and a cognitive screening. No exceptions. The Texas Department of Public Safety has the authority to trigger a full review if any cognitive red flag appears, even if the vision test is clean. In both states, the message is clear. The era of automatic renewal is over, replaced by a gauntlet of new exams that many seniors never saw coming. Indiana's new system lands with a jolt of confusion. The state legislature passed SB 295, creating a tiered renewal schedule that splits seniors into 3 distinct groups. For drivers aged 70 to 74, online renewal is still possible, but only for those who meet every eligibility rule. At 75, the door slams shut. Renewal now requires an in-person visit every 3 years and a mandatory vision screening with no exceptions. Anyone 85 or older faces a 2-year renewal cycle, and the hurdles rise even higher. A physician's statement is now required at every appointment, confirming that the driver is medically fit to be on the road. Fail a vision test, and the Bureau of Motor Vehicles can trigger a cognitive questionnaire before allowing another renewal attempt. The result is a patchwork of requirements that can change overnight depending on a birthday or a single missed screening. For many, the BMV stands as the last gate between independence and forced dependence. The rules are posted, the deadlines are real, and for Indiana's oldest drivers, every renewal now feels like a final exam. Today, millions of seniors face stricter rules, not rumors, governing their independence. Licenses aren't pulled for age alone, but a single report can trigger scrutiny and real consequences. The line between safety and freedom is shifting. For many families, the time to prepare is now, not after the letter arrives. Share your thoughts below.